'97
From the get.
From the get, it's always changing. It's hot, then it's not. It's whatever.
Would you say you took graffiti seriously when you first started, or did it take a minute for you to kind of get serious?
I took it serious because I was always an artist since I was little. So
what were you drawing as a little kid?
Ninja Turtles, lowriders, whatever. So like with that being said, it's just being Chicano. You know, like when you're Chicano, you take pride in a lot of things. You take pride in your family. You take pride in any work you do, any artwork. You know, so like I always had pride in my artwork. Even from a young kid, I would do a drawing and show my family that, you know, like show my mom or whatever, and she would be like, "Oh, Hito, that is great, man. You drew this." So that just got me going. I'm like,
she'd encourage you, right?
Yeah. So with that, you know, that was always my encouragement. And then so in graffiti, I take pride in my graffiti, like I did in my drawing of a lowrider in 3rd grade. You know what I mean? And I think it comes with our culture of our pride. You know, we're very prideful people. You know, look at our lowriders and shit like that. You know, there's a lot of pride in the little things. So,
right.
So my graffiti, it's no different. You know.
Heck yeah! You had you said you had a couple brothers, right?
Yeah.
And you said they were like in gangs and shit. But how did you steer away? Or
well, I have cousins that were in gangs. My brothers are just good kids, good
Gotcha.
people. You know, I had one of my brothers were into b-boying. As I was getting into graffiti, he was getting into b-boying. But yeah, no, it's a lot of my relatives, a lot of cousins. I have older cousins that were into gangs, and I had a couple of them, 2 of them that were into breakdancing in the late '80s. But my mom kind of kept us inside, you know, drawing and things like that.
Being
so
creative.
Yep. So it kept me it kept me balanced, you know, and kept me kind of safe, you know, like I knew my value and things. And so yeah, you know, art will save your life.
Hell yeah. Hey, would you say your kind of style, like, how would you describe your style, number one, and like how did it evolve to what it is, you know what I mean, now?
I don't know, dude. I like to flip around styles. I like to change it or whatever. I'm very organic.
Mm-hmm.
So with me, I don't know, man. I'll just step up to a spot, and if I'm feeling good, like the way I feel that day, that moment, like maybe 5 minutes before I'm doing the train or you know, painting, I realize what I'm gonna do. You know, not till 5 minutes before it kind of clicks on what I'm gonna do. But I like wild style. Wild style's my shit. I love it. You know, it's just very entertaining. I mean, taking a letter and dissecting it by bars and splitting it, you know, and adding extensions or whatnot. Even wild style, like a lot of West Coast wild style, traits back from like old Chicano art, you know, Old English, all that. It has pieces of our culture that makes this wild style piece. So it's so entertaining to me and so stimulating that when I find myself doing something simple or whatever, I don't have any love for it, dog. No passion. I'm like, shit, this shit's boring.
Hell yeah. Explain to me the difference between you painting a piece on a train and then doing like a black book piece. Because when the first couple times you hit my black book up, it was some crazy shit. It wasn't no letters or anything, but it was just some. Talk about it. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, nah. Well, like in the piece books, like I'll just, I don't know, dog. I'll get a little stone or something, and I'll just zone out on a piece book for fucking like 3 hours, and it gets a little busy, a little whatever. But I'm just an artist, all in general. You know what I mean? And so with the piece book, I'll get into some graffiti shit or just some art shit. You know what I mean? I'll just do a nice sketch for somebody. But that's that pride shit too. Like when I have somebody's piece book, I like to like zone out, you know, and just if it's some artsy shit or it's just some graffiti, it's whatever. But
I think one of the first ones was like it was some factory.
Oh yeah.
Like
No, I remember
microphones.
Yeah.
You know, just some crazy shit. Like, you know, like damn, you know what I mean?
Well, like that's like, well, I like to keep it interesting, bro, and you know, with graffiti's a small part of what I'm about with my art. So if I'm not doing graffiti, I'm working on some art, some fine art, whatever, tattooing, or, you know, just my whole life's wrapped around creating. And so right now with graffiti, I'm just dancing, man. I'm just playing with it. I'm not taking it, you know, I have a lot of passion. I do take it serious, but I'm not like you know, I'm not giving it my all with my graffiti. You know what I mean? I'm just fucking with layers and textures, and you know, stretching it out, whatever. It's just keep it interesting. But you know, I see some of these other guys around, and I don't know, man. They take it so serious that they forget about having fun with it. And when you don't have fun with it, it starts getting boring. You're not getting inspired with.
You're not growing.
You're not growing. And there's a flip side, because sometimes you get an ego, and with that ego comes a learning disability, because you feel like you did it all, or you feel accepted already. And
that's like the difference, like we were talking about earlier, between the old and new, is now, you know what I mean? Like, people kind of get quick fame and they let it go to their head too, right?
Well, you have the internet. So with graffiti back in the day, you really had to have love for it, because you're not going to get a response over something you did the night before. The next day, you would have to wait months before somebody says, yo, I seen that train you did, or your crewmates or something. But now you do something, and the next day you'll get like 200 likes, 300 likes. So with that comes like a little bit of like, I don't know, sometimes it takes away that mystery of it, you know? But yeah,
the realness of it.
Yeah, the realness. So like, I'm very blessed to start graffiti at a time that I did. Very early time. I mean, it was probably 95 that I started. I was real young, but you know, it kept me to be humble and keep trying. So that's why every year I'm at a new peak. Right. Like, I'm not running on E. I'm not like getting bored with it. I'm just to tell you the truth, just starting. You know what I mean? Like, as much as I've been growing and doing, I feel like I'm starting a new chapter next year, you know?
Right. Every year's a new chapter.
Every year's a new chapter, you know? But that comes with just finding a balance in it, and not letting these, you know, these likes get you, or like the vanity that's in graffiti, and being accepted by others, and riding behind that shit gets old. You got to do it for yourself. You know, you got to keep pushing for yourself. That's how you last a little bit longer.
So when you were getting serious about graffiti, there are a lot of cats in your generation that kind of like, you know, went on to do like great stuff, and, you know, some hitters. Who were you kind of meeting in those early years that you start running with?
Oh man, you know what? Like, when I started really writing, Court 2 was an older writer. It was one of my buddies' one of his older brothers. So he just taught me the structure of things or whatnot, but he also told me like what we could do. Like, he taught me that graffiti was a great window to art, you know, to whatever. But besides that, like, just my homies that started tattooing or started painting cars or murals or things like that. I see them, what they did with the talent. I mean, things like that. But basically, graffiti is very humbling, because you know what? There's not really a pot of gold at the end. We're like we're one of the last of the hardcore in the elements, you know what I mean? There ain't no record deal for us. There's nothing. It's just on that self-love of what you're doing is going to last. So like, a lot of my homeboys in graffiti, a lot of them didn't do too much with it. You know what I mean?
But I'm saying, like, when did you like meet Coz? Like, for example?
That was an early age. I mean, that was around like 8th grade, 9th grade. I mean, I was going to school with a couple of homeboys. We were in a crew, a little local crew at the time, and
what was the name of that crew?
OKW. It was some different heads back then. It was a lot of.
And real quick, guys. Is that a Denver?
That was a West Denver crew.
West Denver started crew. Okay.
Started at Lake Middle School, I believe, and it was started by, I believe it was Check and Coz, a guy named Check 1 and Coz. But anyway, so I'm going to school with a couple cats from OKW or whatnot, and then we started chilling in the West Side, and that's where I met Kozer. And then from there, we just fucking all clicked up. We're all in the same crew, and we're just painting, man.
And did y'all like just kind of click right away, or like how did y'all actually meet? You said it was in school.
Well, it was through some kids I went to school with. They were all in OKW, and I started painting with them, and then. You know, I had an auntie that moved down off of Alameda and Sheridan down in West Denver, kind of. Right. And I would start visiting her over the summer, and then I had some homeboys I went to school with, and then we just started clicking down there, and then I was introduced to Koz, and we were just fucking having fun, man. Painting, doing a lot of runouts. You know, we were doing a lot of fucking stealing and just, you know. But yeah, we clicked up.
Was OK Dub like a bunch of youngsters and shit?
Yeah, I mean, we were all youngsters at that time, but it was first generation. You know, now like, you know, it's 3 generations deep or whatever, I think. But back then it was, you know, it was
brand new shit.
Yeah, it was brand new.
And when you say like runouts, are you talking about like with paint, with clothes, or what kind of shit?
Clothes and paint. But like back then it was on some polos like the official fucking clothing that's never gonna go out of style. The official clothing of the hood is polo.
Baller. I would say were y'all like Dom Kennedy wearing 2 polos,
striped polos, Air Maxes, fucking. We had not that Walmart polo with no U.S. polo. But
not the dude choking the chicken, you know what I mean? The rooster.
Nah, but like back then we were just running out the stores, man, and we weren't always going in there like some cowboys. I mean, we would go in there like we're shopping, start stacking, and just walk right out, you know, with the alarms going off. And that too is another step. I mean, it's another layer in graffiti. I think growing up was shoplifting, and my friends around me, they really took that shit serious. And as I'm getting older, we always kept it around us, man. I mean, when I was in my early 20s, I really got into boosting. Me, Preach. You know, Preach was one of the kings of boosting. I mean, that fool, yeah, I mean, I was just telling Shu the other day about this one time I seen, we're up at some sunglass place, and I'm at one side of the store doing some shopping, and Preach is in there, and we all went together, but, you know, we go in at different times, and he's wearing like a Zach Morris wig, and he's just acting like a white boy walking around, and he had all of these, he had probably 3 pairs of these Cartier glasses. They were probably like 3-4 racks and up. God damn. And he had, previously, a couple of weeks before, he had got a key for the Cartier case. So here we are at the sunglass place, and he had opened up the Cartier case and grabbed a couple pairs, and this chick that works there, walks up behind him and says, "Hey, you know, do you need any help?" And I'm watching from the corner, and I'm like, oh shit. And he turns around with a big old smile, and he's rapping to this chick, and she's smiling, and I'm watching him, and he's sticking a pair of glasses up his sleeve, and I'm seeing it, and I'm like, holy fuck, this motherfucker's crazy, homie. Smooth. And yeah, so I'm just watching, making sure, you know, everything's okay, holding down the spot. And and then he just walks out, man. He goes to his corner, does his little thing, and walks right out. And I'm like, God damn, and we're in the car, and he's like, hey, always watch their eyes, see where they're looking. And I'm like, this chick was right across from you. He goes, yeah, but she wasn't looking at my hands, homie. I was making her laugh. Right. And I'm like, God damn. But yeah, I mean, boosting was a big part of our lifestyle.
What was your favorite thing to boost? Did you have a favorite thing,
or? I liked everything, man. We called it shopping. We would wake up. We had a couple of homeboys that, you know, we would keep around, and I would hit one of them up and say, hey, let's go shopping. And I could talk about this shit now. It's been, you know, whatever, so long. But we used to have these Lizzie bags.
You gotta explain to them what that is real quick.
Well, don't give it away, dog.
I'm not going to give it too much away. It's just a shoplifting device that we would use with the shopping bags that we would get from a store, and, you know, make it where their alarms don't go off, you know. Right. But yeah, I mean, and when you're doing shit like that, it's about like how you keep yourself, how you hold yourself, walking in a place,
dress the way you're dressed, the way you look.
Well, yeah, you dress the way you look. You get on your cell phone. You know? People don't like talking to people on their cell phones. You know, don't like bothering them. But you got to keep all your senses, homie. You know what I mean? You got to keep
sides to it, basically.
Yeah.
You got to walk the walk and talk the talk and be confident and don't show no weaknesses.
Exactly,
you know?
Exactly.
You know, like one thing, kind of like with doing graffiti. Sometimes you just play the part and you just act like you're supposed to be there, and you act like you know what you're doing. You don't rush. You don't look suspect. You don't look left and right. You don't act like a fucking crackhead.
Like body language, body language, and that's a big thing about boosting. Is you got to act like you're supposed to be doing that. We ain't going in acting like some cowboys and you know, running out all crazy. There's been times that we like look the part, you know,